If you find yourself in Prague and you think, wow, these gorgeous buildings are not old enough for me, I kind of wish there was an older capital city, do not fret. Not that far from Prague, there are these hills. They are an amazing place for a day trip, full of nature and quiet, but under the ground, there lies something bigger. One of the biggest settlements of the ancient peoples, Závist. Hi, my name is Zairi and I will take you on a trip today. All the footage is taken by me, and just a heads up, I'm not an archaeologist, and me and my mom ended up going the opposite way to get to the Acropolis, so we missed all of the obvious signs of the settlement. Still, the place used to be so big that I'm sure somewhere in my footage there is a building underground just waiting to be discovered in the future. And if you go, you should take the better track. Now, without further ado, let's go! The hills of Závist have been occupied for a really long time. The first signs of occupation come from the Stone Age at around 4000 BCE. I will be mainly talking about the span from around the 6th century BCE to the 1st century BCE. The people that occupied it changed during this period as well as the settlement itself. Závist is a hill fort. There are walls built for most of its lifetime, and many can still be seen today, their outline visible even through the centuries of dirt and vegetation. The place was a prime real estate back in the day, high and mighty, easy to defend with plenty of game and water source nearby, most of what you would ever want. Závist is first mentioned in the written record by an author, Václav Hájek's Libochan, but only a later author called Bohuslav Balbín from the 1700s mentions the possible Celtic origin of the remaining ruins and guesses the city maybe being a capital of that culture. The Celtic people of Europe were separated into tribes, and the one that called the Czech lands home were called the Boe. That's where the name Bohemia comes from. When I mentioned the peoples living on Závist, the Boes come in later, the earlier occupation being by more ancient folk. What first interested me in Závist was the whole layout of it. If you walk there today, you won't see it. The hill is grown over, returned to the nature. The dig that's been done there in the 20th century now covered for the future generations. Back in the day, the hills were bare, so the people living there would see way further than us. The most important and enigmatic feature was the cult center, in its way quite similar to the temple complexes that were common in Greece at the time. As far as I am aware, this inspiration is debated as a theory, but the author of the book I read speculates. Back in the day, trade with the Mediterranean was very common. Did the people of Závist get inspired by Greek religious buildings? Or did they even drag a Greek architect over to help them? We will never know. What survives is a giant tall rectangular block. There was a ramp going up it. It doesn't follow the shape of fortification walls, it more likely was built to correspond to astronomy. We don't know what gods were worshipped there, or if there was something else built on top of the platform. The only possible clue is the head of a statue found a little bit down from the Acropolis of the hill. Possible Greek architects aside, this platform survived to the present day mainly because of the next project that went on top of Závist, one that shapes the hill to this day. The people that lived here decided to level the whole top. In some places, that meant leveling the ground to up to 5 meters in height. This was done in a really smart way, basically having reinforced walls with compartments that were filled. After this project was finished and the ground leveled, only one building stood on top for a while, possibly a religious one. It was only later that the Celts moved in. I mean, who wouldn't? This was now prime real estate deluxe. Celts tended to build their oppidums on an unused land, so this was a special case. We can trace their life there and around the hill. Archaeologists have found coins and forms for making the coins, a lot of jewelry and tools of everyday use. Also, too many fragments of pottery from all over the place, starting with the Knoví sculpture from the Bronze Age up until the early medieval times. If you walk on Závist, if you get on top of the hill on the Acropolis and climb the viewpoint, you will see what people saw thousands of years ago: lush lands, rivers, forests. And even if you can't see the remains of buildings and walls under and around you, The history is there. History of people that were here before us, with different gods and traditions and style of life. But there was probably a guy living there who slipped on wet leaves, a girl who stole a really cool stick and wanted to keep it, families. I really like the untold history, and if you get a chance, I hope you will too. Thank you for watching.